It's not really a secret that I really enjoy the Far Cry series. So I guess it really shouldn't be a surprise that I decided to review Far Cry 3. Unlike the transition from Far Cry 1 to 2, where there were some massive changes to the gameplay formula, there aren't nearly as many from 2 to 3. Things for the most part remain the same as it goes to gameplay, but there are enough changes to warrant doing a review. In Far Cry 3, you play as a man named Jason Brody, who has traveled to the exotic Rook Islands with his friends in search of adventure and thrills. The opening scenes detail the crew hitting up the nightclubs and skydiving, and then suddenly you see them in a cage. This would be your first encounter with an infamously crazy pirate known as Voss. Voss taunts them for a bit, then walks away, and Jason's brother Grant escapes using some of his army training. This opening part of the game has you stealthily walking through the camp, throwing rocks to distract the guards, and kind of acts as the tutorial to the game. Eventually, Voss shoots and kills Grant, and Jason is forced to run away to avoid being murdered himself. Jason eventually wakes up as a man is doing something to his arm. This man is a dude named Dennis, who claims that you are a warrior of legend and are destined to use a tatau that he put on your arm to lead the local rock yacht to victory over the pirates. You'll get one or two more tutorial missions, and then from there, you're able to do as you please on the islands. As I said, there's not a huge difference of gameplay between Far Cry 2 and 3. There's still a lot of guns that you can use, a massive world to play in, and plenty of vehicles. But there's enough changes. Let's start with the gunplay. The first thing that I remember noticing the first time I played was the fact that weapons will no longer rust apart and jam. As such, you can use a weapon as much as you'd like without worrying about it breaking apart in the most critical of situations. The upgrade system has been improved slightly because of this. You won't be spending diamonds on weapon upgrades or new weapons, but also partially because, well, no diamonds are to be found. You'll be paying for everything on Rook Island in cold hard cash. You can use this money to either purchase weapons if you're impatient, as many of them can be earned for free, but you'll probably mainly be using it to buy maps of the loot of the island, armor, and medkits, or what I mostly did, upgrades. Each weapon has a set of probably 3 to 5 upgrades, whether it be a silencer, extended mag, sights, and the such. Each weapon typically has a couple of skins you can purchase as well, but I've always been a fan of the plain old gunmetal gray. If you find a weapon you like using, you're probably going to want to customize it to your liking, because, again, you don't have to worry about it breaking. I'm kind of like this, but I do miss the breaking apart feeling that you get. It just gives battles a bit more of a hectic feeling. Another big change is the map system. No longer do you need to constantly bring up a stack of maps in order to figure out where you're going. Instead, there's now a permanent mini-map in the corner of the screen. This is awesome, as it lets you drive around and remain a bit more aware of your surroundings. Possibly the biggest difference in the game from its previous outings is the RPG pieces that were added in. This occurs in 2 ways. The upgrade system, which uses your typical method of XP gains and level ups, and the crafting system. Let's start with the upgrade system because, well, it's easier to talk about. Many of the actions that you perform in the game are going to net you some experience, whether it be killing pirates, completing objectives, finding collectibles, and other feats. As you gain a specified amount, you're given a skill point, which you can use to put it into a skill of one of 3 categories. Not all skills are available from the start. Instead, you're only given maybe a third of them at the start, and other abilities will unlock as you clear main story missions. There are others that have a prerequisite, such as a certain amount of grenade kills, clearing camps without being seen, and so on. It's a good idea to read over all the skills at the start to know what you need to do, as things like clearing an enemy camp without being spotted are going to be much more difficult later on in the game, as the outposts get larger and filled with more dangerous foes. So let's move on to the crafting system. Unlike Far Cry 2, where animal life was minimal, there's a lot more creatures on Rook Islands. Pigs, gators, Komodo dragons, leopards, and so on. Some of the animals are herbivores and non-hostile, but others, like tigers and bears, oh my, will hunt you down. Killing these creatures will allow you to skin them for the hide, which can then be used to craft into a piece of equipment. Each piece of equipment, whether it be a larger wallet, an extra holster to carry more weapons, or bigger ammo pouches, typically has 3 or 4 upgrades available, and these need to be done in order. So you can't skip from the level 2 wallet right to the level 4 wallet. In addition, the final upgrade in each crafting piece must be won from a hunting challenge where you have to hunt down a sort of boss creature, which is typically meaner and more violent than your normal garden variety. You might easily fill up your inventory with skins that you'll never need, so you can always sell off the extra ones. You can also sell off any junk that you may have found in the world, either in boxes or by looting enemies. But there's also herbs that you can find on the island, which can be used to create potent potions other than medkits, such as ones that will show you where any animals are lurking, or ones that will severely dampen any fire damage. Just like every other open world FPS game, you have your standard story missions, which I won't get into simply because I don't want to spoil the story. But of course, there are other things you can do. One of the biggest things is climbing radio towers. Earlier in the game, as in right as you get to Tatao, you are told to climb it and flip a switch to stop some of Voss's jammers. The whole purpose to this is that so important supplies are supplied to the Rakyat, as without them, the battle against the pirates is not going to go so well. For each tower that you free, there are several rewards. For one, the local area will be revealed on your map. Secondly, a weapon will be freely available to equip, saving you a ton of money. Third, extra activities may be revealed on the map. There are typically some special races where you have to drive a vehicle through flares in order to bring a medkit to someone in need. These aren't too challenging, but fun as hell, because who doesn't want to drive an ATV or buggy through off-road terrain and over hills? Plus it's easy cash and XP. Another thing to do is to clear out the pirate outposts. Unlike Far Cry 2, where the outposts would regenerate within seconds, clearing out a camp completely will free it for the rest of the game. You can then use that camp as a fast travel point, and it can access a shop inside one of the buildings. To clear out an outpost, it's simple. Just kill everything in one way, shape, or form. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use your guns, though. You can try to stab everyone to death, which is optimal if you're going for that skill where you need to clear out 3 camps without being seen. Plus, the XP bonus is highest if you aren't spotted. To help with this, you can disable the alarm systems. If you shoot one, only that alarm will be disabled, but if you can manage to walk up to one and hold the interact button, it'll kill all alarms in that camp. If the alarm is sounded, then backup will appear, often in multiple waves. But let me back up as I went off track. As I said, guns aren't the only things available to you. Maybe you see that tiger in the cage. Shoot that cage open and that tiger is going to go crazy on the thugs. I've already seen a leopard come from nowhere and just completely destroy everyone. It's funny as hell to watch, at least until the predator sees you as a threat. Once you clear out one of those pirate hideouts, the Rakyat will move in and set up shop. 2 types of extra side missions may appear. One has you take down a specific number of animals with a weapon given to you at the mission start area. These are just for money, XP, and skins. However, certain areas will also have you take down those special animals to fully upgrade a piece of equipment. If you already have a similar weapon to what is given to you, most of the time the game will allow you to keep that. For example, if you are wielding an STG-90 assault rifle and the game is trying to get you to kill dogs with an AK, you can normally keep your guns since both are assault rifles. Of course, if the game wants you to eliminate dogs with an RPG, well, you need an RPG. And yes, that's an actual mission. The other type of mission that you may unlock is one where you have to take down a pirate leader with a knife. He is normally surrounded by a small crew of thugs, of which you can kill in any way you wish. Their leader, however, must be killed by the knife, whether by normal strikes or takedowns. Never talked about takedowns yet. In certain situations, you can just hit a key to do an immediate melee kill. Most of these need to be unlocked via the skill system, but the basic stab is available from the start. Other variations can allow you to chain kills together, pull a pin on the enemy's grenade and kick them away to watch them panic, kill an enemy and then throw the knife at another enemy, and ledge takedowns. Finally, it needs to be said, the world is fantastic looking. The jungles of Rook Island are lush and colorful, the water peaceful looking. Even though they might be chasing you, it's fascinating to watch the predator stalk the prey. It's a world that I can come back to regularly and not get bored of it. So, really, is there anything negative about the game? Oh, maybe one thing. The main character. Jason Brody is a very annoying character to play as. He always seems to be whining about something, and he keeps putting his quest for revenge against Voss ahead of escaping with the survivors, one of which being his girlfriend. Seriously, dude? You've almost died countless times. Escape while you're ahead. The other annoying thing is that the boss battles are a bit dumb. I can't say anything else without spoiling things. Just know that I don't care for them. Okay, so maybe there is more. Jason isn't really a warrior, or more accurately, an athlete, as he really can't take a fall. A minor tumble down a hill may drop a huge chunk of your health. Kinda stupid if you ask me. Stub your toe and you're about an inch away from death. But you can take a ton of bullets. Not like there's really a huge penalty when you die, though. You just respawn at the last checkpoint, which may be a fast travel spot if you aren't in the middle of a mission, or right before you reach one of the pirate leaders if you're trying to feed them the pointy end of your knife. There's one last thing I want to mention. I've seen theories out there that the worlds of Far Cry and Assassin's Creed are connected. Well, there may be some proof here. In one of the DLC missions, which I must have gotten for free at some point, you're traveling through a mine in which there are plenty of references to the DNA program at Abstergo. Pretty neat stuff. And that's Far Cry 3. Sure, it may feel like a more polished sequel, but I did enjoy Far Cry 2's more hostile world. But that's not to say that Far Cry 3 is an inferior game, because it's really not. Both games are phenomenal in their own way. If you enjoy one, you should play the other. And if you enjoy Far Cry 3, play Far Cry 4. I probably won't do a review on it, as it's more of the same, just with an extra tool in the grappling hook and more to do. But they're all great games. I still mean to get Primal at 5, but that's still further down the gaming road. Till then, I really need to get around to picking up Horizon Zero Dawn again. And no, I'm not reviewing that yet either. Final score? 9 out of 10. This is Reaper. Happy fragging.